Hello, friends. Welcome to today's daily devotion. I'm Kerry Wood, pastor of the Goldston Methodist Church in Goldston, North Carolina. This is our daily Devo based on the God Box, and this week we're unpacking Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Today we're looking at the rest of this proverb, verses 7 through 12, and I invite you to open up your Bibles and join with me as we share in these words together. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves. As a father, the son he delights in. So the Proverbs, as I mentioned yesterday, need to be taken with a sense of caution in such that we don't simplify them into simple this, then, else types of statements, a magic formula that says, if I do this, then God must do that. And here's an example of what I mean by that. Here we see this proverb of honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of your crops. Then your barns will be filled with overflowing. Your vats will brim over with new wine. If we just take that in its most simplistic way, we might think, okay, if I do what I'm supposed to do with this part of my life, then God's going to bless me with all the rest parts of my life, and it's all going to be amazing. Well, the reason we know that that's not true is that there are many examples where people have done their giving to the Lord, honoring the Lord, and yet they have not experienced material blessings in this lifetime. And so we have to understand that these wisdom literature contexts are not about guaranteed results, but about intended incomes. Inputs, ways in which we choose to engage with the world. So I have a choice of either being wise in my own eyes, meaning I know it all, I've got it all, it's figured out, and I can just blow the rest of the world away, including God, or I can step back and recognize maybe I don't know all the answers. Maybe there are some places where I can still learn, I can still grow. Fearing the Lord and shunning evil, that's the aspect of my life that I'm saying, look, I'm not going to depend upon myself, because when I depend upon myself, I'm going to fall into evil. I'm going to fall into error. I'm going to do things that hurt myself, that hurt others. But if I put my life into God's hands, trusting in Him, fearing the Lord, then even if my body is not getting everything that I would hope that it would, I may not look like, the biggest bodybuilder in the world. I may not have the perfect physique. I may not be able to climb Mount Everest. I may not be able to swim the English Channel, but God is with me in my physicality. And so as we look at trusting in the Lord with all of our heart, leaning not on our own understandings, in all our ways submitting to Him so that He will direct our paths, this is what that looks like. Honoring the Lord, fearing the Lord, trusting in God, and then here comes the hard part. Accepting God's rebuke. There are going to be places in your life that if you truly trust God, He's going to show up and say, you know what? Here's this little area in your life that you've not given over to me. Let's work on that now. And sometimes it might hurt to work on that. Dealing with sin is never a pleasant experience, but it is always the worthwhile experience. My friends, sin is a cancer. It needs to be cut out of us. And just as Jesus used the metaphor in the Gospel of John, where he says, "My Father will prune the branches in order to make the vine more fruitful," God is going to prune your life and my life so that our lives become more fruitful for Him. And cutting out the parts that are not bearing fruit is a form of God's rebuking, a form of God's discipline in our lives. But we can trust God even in those processes because the Father delights in His Son and wants the best for him. That's the way my dad was. And there were times growing up that I really did not want his discipline. But I'm a better man today because of what my dad did for me then. The Lord can do even more for us. So let us fear the Lord. Let us trust the Lord. Let us honor the Lord. Let us do all the things that put us in the right place with God so that we can be the right place wherever else that place might be. And I'll see you tomorrow for our next daily devotion.